Isn't she lovely? Hello everyone. Today we're doing some meal prep. I just went to the grocery store, so we're gonna do a grocery haul and then a fridge inventory haul type of thing. And then over the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, I'm gonna be meal prepping dinner, lunch, snack, you name it. Let's get started with the grocery haul first. First things first, I got 2 Faya Greek yogurts. This is the best I found for protein, 0% milk fat content, kind of low calorie, really nice. Then I got not 1, but also 2 of these vanilla malts. Love them in cereal, when making protein pancakes. My matcha, I got 2 because they're always sold out. Same with the yogurts. Then I got some mozzarella balls for some wraps I'm gonna be making. I got 5 kiwi, but I ate 1 with some yogurt right when I got back because I was so hungry. I also got a papaya, which I also use in my yogurt, so some of that is also gone. I got some strawberries because I'm gonna be using the ones that I have in the fridge right now to be prepping some chia seed overnight oats, so I'll need some more. And then I got 2 blueberries because I love blueberries, and the ones that I had in the fridge were all rotten, so that was fun. I got some chickpeas for the wraps I'm gonna be making, and I got some cannellini beans for a dense bean salad type of thing I'll prep. Okay, now for what I already have in the fridge. Let's take a look. Okay, I've already got some edamame, you know, just to snack on, have as some extra protein, have, I don't know. We've got some eggs. I probably have 18 large eggs. I have enough, that's for sure. I have this banana that I'm gonna use for the chia seed overnight oats things as well. At the beginning of this week, it's the first week back from spring break, and I had like work and essays and stuff to do, so I prepped some burrito bowl type stuff with chimichurri pork, beans, sauteed veggies, and then I have sweet potatoes that I'll put with the bowl, as well as some spinach and arugula, a spring mix that I have in the fridge, and then also with some cheese. I'll probably end up having 1 of those tonight and then saving them 1 for next week as well. Like I said already, I have a spring mix. I also have the strawberries that I mentioned earlier that I have in the fridge. I have some tofu salmon. I have these multi-grain wraps that I'll use for the wraps. Kale that I'm gonna use for the wraps. And then I had blanched and frozen some zoodles before I left for spring break, and I ate 1 last night. So good, with some cucumbers. So I took these out of the freezer because I think I'm gonna use these in the dense bean salad. Then in my veggie drawer, I've got carrots, some of which I use for the burrito bowl. I have a green bell pepper. I used 1 in my burrito bowl, and then I'm gonna use 1 to roast with chickpeas for the wrap. I have lemons. I have these little cucumbers. Last night I had the cucumbers and the zoodle salad with black pepper, some garlic, lemon juice. So good. I've also been using this to make tzatziki. I have garlic, half of a sweet onion left because I use some for the burrito bowls. I have beets, which I'm gonna use in a chicken bowl. If you haven't noticed already, I've been into bowls. I have an avocado for dressing that I'm gonna be making, a red onion for pickling, and a serrano pepper. Normally I do jalapenos, but when I went to the store, they didn't have any jalapenos left, so I got these. I'm gonna start off by soaking the cannellini beans in some bone broth, along with some onion and garlic and stuff, so we're gonna cut that up. Not a lot, just a few, roughly chopped, because I just want the flavor in there. Same with some garlic. I'm just gonna kind of make it pasty a little bit because I want the flavor in there. I'm also going to chop up this serrano pepper and put it in the broth as well. Plus you get that spiciness in there. And everything is just getting roughly chopped. And last but not least, I'm also gonna put some cucumber in there, just so the cucumber doesn't need to be chopped later on. That should be good for now. Let's open these beans. I just got this can opener because I've been just not having a can opener and having to ask people for theirs, and I don't like that. So I finally got my own. I've just drained and rinsed them a bit, and they're gonna be going in this Tupperware because all of my larger Tupperware is in the dishwasher, and also I don't know if I have enough glass jars. So first things first, let's just dump them in here. Yeah. And then I'm gonna put all of these. And then I've opened some Kettle and Fire bone broth. I don't know how much to do. And I'm gonna put a few herbs in here, some oregano, as well as some red pepper flakes. Just a few, because we already have the serrano in there. Okay, next for prep, we're gonna be pickling some red onion. I'm not gonna pickle it on the stove because I don't want my dorm to smell like that. So we will just be doing it with apple cider vinegar, some red pepper in the fridge. I'm not gonna dissolve any honey into it on the stove because I'm really not about that. And we're gonna do it with some sumac. Sumac pickled onions are my favorite. I'm just gonna be using this in anything. When I prep a chicken bowl, I'll be using this in there. I can use it with my dense bean salad. I can use it in my wraps. I probably won't though. Let me actually tell you what we're gonna be prepping while I cut this. So I have the dense bean salad, and I'm gonna be mixing that with some zoodles that are in the fridge. And then for the protein, I'm gonna do some canned tuna, and then I also have tofu in the fridge, so if I want, I can do the tofu. And then I'm gonna do a harissa chicken bowl inspired by my favorite bowl from Yafo with these sumac pickled onions, roasted chickpea salad, some roasted cauliflower, arugula, spring mix, tzatziki sauce, beets, you know, just a bunch of vegetables mixed in. And then for the wraps, it's gonna be a kale chickpea wrap. It'll be roasted chickpeas, pulled chicken, the mozzarella balls, and then I'm gonna use the avocado to make a dressing. I bet you loved watching me cut all those onions. Now we're gonna transfer everything into here, but I'm gonna do it in layers so that hopefully I can make them all fit. Ooh, I don't know. I might have to do 2. Red pepper, gotta have some sumac. Do some black pepper. I might need to refill this. Pretty empty. And then apple cider vinegar. I'm just gonna take this chopstick and try to mix some of it around. I know they can all fit in here, it's just that they're all dry right now. I think I can do it. I might just have to like mix it up later. Oh my god, this stuff is so strong. Especially all of it together. Oh my god, my eyeballs. Maybe I shouldn't have put that seasoning on there. Oh my god, this is bad. Why did I do this? I'll just do it with my fingers. They're clean. Can I get this top on? Now I have a pretty busy weekend, so I'm gonna do one more prep before I have to leave. But first, let me refill this black pepper. Kirkland's. No, it's from Costco. I'm just gonna prep 2 chia seed overnight oats things because I'm gonna have a lot of options this week, but I like to have something sweet every now and then, so we're gonna do that. Okay, Okay, so one of them is gonna be strawberry and banana, just chia seeds and yogurt. So we can put a good amount. That's probably way too much. And then another one is gonna be nectarine blueberry. It's a good thing I got more strawberries because these ones are getting nasty. I'm just gonna cut them up real small, mix it with some water and collagen powder, and then put some yogurt on top. I had this when I was in Atlanta and I was really surprised with how much I liked it with just the chia seeds and without any oats or anything. I especially like it when you cut up the strawberries and all the flavor gets soaked into everything. I love fruit. Oh. Let's ignore any mess I'm making, okay? One, I'm gonna add a layer of flax seeds as well as a layer of oats. Then I have some yogurt that I'm gonna scoop on top. I'm just gonna chop up this banana and layer it on top. I would like to make it pretty, but I'm just not going to because it won't stay. Perfect. Then I've cut up a nectarine and mixed it with some yogurt. Again, how I did with the strawberries, I cut them up so that the sweetness would kind of be infused with the chia seeds. I'm doing the same thing with the nectarines and the yogurt because the yogurt is very plain. This way the sugars from the nectarine will get infused.
Then we're gonna make some tzatziki with some cucumber, garlic, and lemon. I'm just cutting up the cucumber really thin and then stacking them before cutting them and sort of dicing them, I guess. These will go in the yogurt that I have from earlier, along with some very, very pasted, crushed up garlic and also some lemon juice. I'm also going to make an avocado-based dressing for the chickpea wraps with some Greek yogurt, a whole avocado, garlic clove, some lemon juice, black pepper, and apple cider vinegar.
It's the next day and we're gonna keep up with the meal prep. This morning I chopped up some green bell peppers and then I took the chickpeas I had and I'm gonna roast these in the oven to make my wraps. I just drizzled some avocado oil on it, garlic, red pepper flakes, paprika, and I think a little bit of black pepper. So these are gonna go in the oven for I don't know how long because my oven's literally broken, so I'll just have to keep checking it. Then also this morning I went ahead and took out the chicken that I took out of the freezer and put in the fridge. And I have 2 chicken breasts to make bowls with. And I season these with za'atar seasoning, cumin, even though cumin's already in that, garlic, and some masala. And then I took a large chicken breast and cut it into 4. And did the same seasoning just without the marsala and instead with sumac seasoning. And then I'm going to pan fry these right now, boil them or sort of boil them in some bone broth before shredding it for the wraps. This chicken, I'm gonna make one tonight for the bowl and then make the other one another night for the same bowl, but I just don't really like in the fridge chicken, even though I'm doing it for the wraps. To me, that's different. So that's gonna be cooked fresh. Also in the bowls is gonna be cauliflower. I have frozen cauliflower packages, so I'm gonna be using that. So those will also be air fried, air roasted every time I want to do the bowl. I'm gonna cut up some beets while these are pan frying, just so that I have them, and also shred some carrots. Now I should be able to make 4 or so wraps with this, so let's do that. First, I've got my kale that I'm gonna put down. Then I have some mozzarella balls that I'm gonna put inside, just kind of sprinkle them around, like so. Then once I took the chicken out of the bone broth, I shredded it with a fork. Let's go ahead and put that on it. This is one of the 4 I did. And I just like shredding it because I know it'll make it easier to eat it later. And then I'm gonna take some of the dressing that I made earlier, the avocado one, and put just a little bit. I have my roasted chickpeas and peppers, and I'm just gonna put a little portion of that on there. Okay, and then I guess let's attempt to wrap this up. I don't know how well that is gonna go though. Oh yeah, I don't know about this, guys. Yeah, that did not work out very well. Whatever, you get the picture. That's okay. You're gonna hear my chicken sizzling a bit in the background, but while the chicken is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and put my cold toppings in. Starting with my carrot and beet salad, I'm just gonna scoop a little bit of that. Then we're gonna put in some sumac pickled red onions. These are my favorite. This and purple cabbage, but I don't have any purple cabbage, so look at that. And then we're gonna do a little scoop of tzatziki. Maybe not little. Then we have my chicken, delicious. And then of course, some roasted cauliflower. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she lovely?